Live from the Export Beer Garden studios, this is the agenda for Thursday, the 15th of February.
The Agenda, an alternative commentary collective podcast.
Doesn't feel like it's a Thursday. I don't know why. It feels like this week is absolutely flying by. I think the test match, maybe partly. Sorry? Well, let's just turn your microphone on.
I have no idea what day of the week it is, to be honest. As I said to Joe, I was like, I have no comprehension of time. It's all disappeared for me, given these test matches and whatnot that's going on.
You know what it is? It's a Super Bowl into a test match.
Yeah.
That is just a little bit bewildering, but it has made the week fly by. Valentine's Day yesterday, did Mrs. Lane do anything special for you?
Zero.
No.
Zero. But
look, it's a pagan ritual anyway,
absolutely zero. But I mean, I wasn't expecting anything, to be honest. We've got 3 kids. It's,
Yeah.
As I mentioned to Morgan Penn, the sexologist, all the romance has gone out of our relationship due to our 3 kids. Mainly due to our 3 kids, which I blame. But, anyone out there who's got a daughter or is thinking about having more kids and you haven't got a daughter, do it, because they're the only ones that show you any love. I came home, she had 2 cards for me. She loved me to the moon and back 1,000 times, and gave me a cuddle, boys came in, and I'm surprised they didn't try and kill me in my sleep. That's that kind of relationship. Every time I wake up in the morning and I haven't got a child over my head with a pillow trying to kill me, is a good day.
It's a success. Yeah, we did have Morgan in yesterday for day 2 of the test match, and it was very interesting. Well, the key takeaway for me was that it takes the women's arousal network up to half an hour
to get going.
Whereas men are 0 to 100 in about 3.6 seconds.
Yeah.
Like a Tesla.
That's what got me confused. I mean, you can go back and go over the tapes and listen to it, but... and I said, well, that kind of a woman into quickies then. And she said, yeah, of course. And I was like, half an hour's not quick.
I guess they have to have been thinking about it for a while. But, that really set me at ease yesterday when I spent half an hour trying to log into the fucking TV to get the movie on that she wanted to watch last night. Kung Fu Panda 2. It's the first movie we ever saw together. She really wanted to watch it.
Cute. How was the KFC?
KFC was delicious. There was a crash on the motorway, so we couldn't drive out to a beach, so she said, bugger it, let's get some poor Uber driver to drive it out to us and then get stuck in that traffic and not be able to get back to his home. And then we'll sit there and watch our movie. And we spent half an hour trying to get the log into this one and log in and verify.
Did she get her network? Did she get her network going?
Network was very aroused by the time.
Nothing turns a woman on more than a dude trying to work technology.
Yeah, I'm logging in on my phone. Now you got to verify on your laptop, but then you got to verify on the bloody thing.
She's like, keep talking. You're like, fuck. Yeah, keep doing. You're doing it, but come on.
Then the Uber driver shows up halfway through. I'm trying to sort this whole shit out. I'm like, sorry, mate, I'll be there in a second. Go out and grab this stuff, bloody 3-piece quarter packs all around. But yeah, no, it was a great evening. But not a great game for the Black Caps yesterday. 242 South Africa posted, and we thought that we would be cruising, but all out for 211 by the end of the day yesterday.
Yeah, lost 6 for 32 or something at the end. It was not good to watch.
No.
The last session was potentially the worst session of cricket New Zealand's played all season.
Yep.
And disappointingly in a game which is pretty crucial, it's not going to be a draw, that's for sure. One team is going to win this game, and if it's South Africa and we don't win this series and have a chance to win our first ever series against South Africa, I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to reprint some more of these T-shirts.
You've got the Black Caps support group on right now as well.
I'd have to start booking the town halls.
Yeah.
Start booking, the RSAs.
Get Mark Sainsbury in to adjudicate.
People are going to have to get together and hug, because if we lose this one. But there is some, some optimism in the office. Some people saying that the game will be over today. We'll roll them for 100. We'll chase 130 in the day, and it'll be all over.
Hopefully. I think that's based on South Africa's, sort of second half of the day in terms of bowling yesterday.
Yeah.
I think it's based on optimism that it will look like that for us. The difference with us is we don't have as many spinners as they do. That Peed guy, he really carved us up yesterday, the offie.
He did, but also I think there was some massively unlucky dismissals. Do we have 3 play-ons? Three
we did.
Batsmen play on to their own stumps.
Mariki Bowler got one.
Yeah.
And none of them were anywhere near the stumps.
No, they were complete. I mean, it was a fault of the batsman, obviously, but so lucky for the bowler. And then there was that dismissal of Glenn Phillips' bat pad to the keeper, which you don't see often, going at that pace to the keeper. It was like a caught behind.
Yes. It was, because he slammed it into his own pad. And 9 times out of 10, that goes to the ground or just out in front of him, but no.
So we're going to need some luck on our side this morning.
If you're a South African fan, you would say that is skill from the a bowler to deceive the batsman. I probably couldn't argue against that too much, but
totally. But the play-ons, no.
Yeah.
They were pretty rough. But yeah, we're going to have to go all out this morning. So I'd tune in. I think the first session is going to be crucial. It's whether, South Africa are going to try and grind it out, bat for a day, take it to... their goal is to take it deep. They want to go to 5 days.
Yes.
And then bowl last on a pitch that they're hoping is dynamite.
It's destroyed, yeah.
But how come the South Africans knew more about that pitch than we did? They said this morning, I heard some media about the bowlers going, yeah, he looked at it and they were like, the look of this, let's get 3 spinners in.
Yeah.
And then home ground advantage, and no one's maybe gone over and seen KJ the groundsman say, is this going to take some turn?
What do you reckon, Cobb? What's this thing doing? Because it's nowhere near, obviously it's never going to be as green as it was day one, but day one it almost looked spray painted green.
Yeah, true.
And it kind of looked like, this is what we do when we bring people over here. India prepares a dust bowl, we prepare a green seamer, and we put Southie and up until recently Bolt in there and then just carve people to bits. But that hasn't been the case so far. And you're right, it's almost as if everyone thought that South Africa was stupid for putting themselves in, but it's like they've seen something that we haven't. So much so that before the game started, South Africa were paying like $18 for the win. At the start of yesterday, they were paying $9. This morning before the first ball's bowled, $2.80. So this has massively turned on its head, this game. And as you said, there's a lot of optimism around the office that this could be real fireworks this morning. A lot of people are getting on New Zealand to take a wicket in the first, second or third over.
Yeah, I'm not getting on that, but I'm getting on 2 boundaries in the first 3 overs. Only purely been snicks behind, snicks over, snicks around like a leg, like an extravagant drive from Fortuyn, who's on a pair. Yeah,
the tip for me, I reckon, is second innings, any 2 South African players out for a duck. Any 2, I think, is money for jam. That's paying $5 at the time of recording this.
Yeah, true.
We got Fortuyn yesterday, day before, for a duck, and then at that point, all you need is one of the tail enders, which
true.
It's going to happen.
Dane Peterson is
going to make you a lot of money. So we'll see how that one goes. I'd like to bring in a segment that we do from time to time. It's called Breakdown the Breakdown, where we take a headline that's in the mainstream sports news and we react to it. This is the headline today on 2 different outlets. Is this the last chance saloon for Conway?
No.
Let me give you some stats. His 29 in the second innings of the first test at the Bay Oval was his highest score in tests since the 78 against Sri Lanka in March last year. Since then, he scored 22, 11, 2 and 1 in 4 innings against Bangladesh and 1 in the first innings against South Africa.
No, he's a class player. I don't think... who's going to replace him? Who would replace him and you would say... he is going to perform better than Conway. He is a better player than Conway, and I'd argue no one. No.
There's probably a certain element of people that would say Henry Nicholls come back in. Has he been lucky, Conway, that Nicholls has fallen out of form?
Harry Nips is never going to open, is he? So, that would be a lamb to the slaughter if you sent Nips out to open. But no,
Ravindra into open with...
Nah, don't waste Ravindra. He's good down at 4. Don't expose him up there. I'm thinking forward to Australia. You know, when you got and look, this sounds terrible, but it's like when you played sport and when I played sport at a kind of semi decent level when I was at schoolboy and after that.
Sure,
you always lower yourself to the opposition.
Yeah.
And you always up your game when you're playing better teams or you're surrounded by better players, you play better.
Yeah.
That's what I feel with Conway a little bit. He's Bangladesh, fucking hell, really?
I think it's a very Kiwi thing.
Yeah, and then South Africa, sure, it's South Africa, but it's not Dale Steyn, it's not Morne Morkel, it's not Rabada.
Yeah.
There's no big names here. So, but once he comes up against Cumdog Millionaire, Bill Ralston and Pooh Bear in Australia, I reckon... that's the man you want out there. That's the man you want out there, Devon Conway.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Just sitting in front of you on the desk there, handcuffs.
These are ankle cuffs.
Oh, they're ankle cuffs that they had to deploy because Lee Hart's wrists were so big that he couldn't fit the handcuffs around it. There is a paddle.
Yep,
there is some sort of inflatable device.
It's called, what's it called? Impact Play now.
Yeah,
I thought it was B&D, Bondage and Discipline, but it's now called Impact Play.
Yeah, so we had the sexologist Morgan Penn on yesterday. She's got a new podcast out at the moment. Finish this one first and then go and find her one. But I think we learned a lot about There's the handcuffs there, actually.
Yeah, they're the handcuffs there. And there's like a little finger vibrator here as well.
The finger vibrator I felt particularly disturbing. That's like a lot of kit. I didn't really think that would have been a thing.
And also, it's useless now because it came in a sealed pack. And like, imagine if you took this home and you go, hey, look, no, where's that? And it goes, it was in the studio. Like, I think that's when the network gets shut down.
Yeah, 100%. But it was good to have her in yesterday. I think we learned a lot. It was good to have an actual expert in there. I don't think it's probably still not the most sex talk that we've had on the ACC. Not by a long shot, probably not even this week. But it was good to have someone who actually knew what they were talking about.
Yes.
As opposed to us. I think we learned a lot. The audience learned a lot. There were a lot of people who were texting in saying that they had to bloody either go and kick the kids out of the room so they could keep listening, or a couple of people who were ducking off for a little number 3 in the middle of the
what I did enjoy is some of the questions around, can Lee tell me his favourite player from the 2003 Crusaders? A few landscape questions targeted at Lee. I thought that was quite good.
Yeah, a few pavers coming through. For mine, it's probably Greg Somerville. The 2003 Crusaders.
Yeah, well, Morgan went for Justin Marshall, which I think, and then someone commented, did say, are we taking sex advice from someone who thought Justin Marshall was hot? And I was like, good point.
That is a fair point. He certainly liked to express himself. But yeah, it was very interesting. I love when we have things like that. It just bloody colours the whole thing up a little bit.
And we needed it that third session because there was a lot of pain. There was a lot of impact play going on in that third session for Kiwi fans.
There were a couple of allegations that she was a bad luck charm when she came onto the commentary. That was correlation. It wasn't causation.
She did take that quite badly, actually.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, not good. I mean, but we did lose 7 wickets while she sat in that chair.
Yeah, but like you said, thankfully we did have her because that would have been a grim period. Otherwise, Lane, the Dulux Super Bash is back for 2024. It's creeping up very, very soon. Tuesday, Feb 27th. But your chance at clearing the boundary at NZ's hallowed turf, Eden Park. Make it to the final round under the lights, and G Lane will be there commentating your boundaries or your bent attempts. Super Bash champion takes home a $5,000 check. Plus, if you hit a 6 into the stands with the green leader NZ's 7th ball, you win $100 cash. Plus topper vouchers on the spot. If you want to have a crack at that, text BASH to 3236 to get your tickets. This is it's a great event because everyone's dreamt of hitting a 6 at Eden Park.
Yeah.
And I've actually attempted it quite a lot. Just couldn't get one out of the screws.
Yeah, it's a great chance because what they do is they leave the pitch in. So from the Aussie match on the Sunday afternoon on the 24th, they leave the drop-in pitch there. So you're playing on an international pitch. They get the bowling machine. They crank that up to about just over 100. So because you need a bit of pace to get it. And then you have a go. You get 6 balls to see how many sixes you can hit. It's a good time. Yeah. It's a great time. And if you haven't done it, you haven't thought about doing it, get into it. Take the kids down, give them a go as well.
Challenge your mates.
They've got a bar there. You can have a few beers, watch your mates, give each other shit. Yep. It's good. Get into it. And if you back yourself, if you think you're half decent and you can think you're the New Zealand's biggest 6 hitter, you win $5,000 cash. That's pretty good.
Put your money where your mouth is. So text BASH to 3236 to get your tickets. The Halbergs were on last night, Lane. We will take a quick break and we'll be back to break all the Halberg.
Most people will leave, won't they? You can't tease with the Halbergs. Is there something after the Halbergs that the people will stay for? We've got some good yours, please, and some rugby news as well.
All right, the Halbergs were on last night, Lane. The Supreme Halberg Award winner was Dame Lisa Carrington. I have to be honest with you, I don't know what she won last year. I don't follow kayaking very closely.
There's nothing more unsexy than the Halbergs.
No, I know.
I'm sorry.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's kept the life sucked out of it. I don't care.
Yeah, I didn't either. I'm not, and I needed to write down who these people lost to even know what was going on. You know, like Sportsman of the Year, Aaron Gate, who captured a world track title race in the points race last year.
Sure.
I guess, sure. Artie Xavier was one of the entries, and I guess because we didn't win the World Cup, you can't really say that he did it. But I don't know. Sean Johnson was probably pretty hard done by. Team of the Year was the Blackburn Sevens, who won the World Series with a 36-game winning streak. Finalists were the All Blacks Sevens. To be honest, I know the Warriors didn't win. They were the team of last year, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, but they needed to have lifted that trophy.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, they got the People's Choice, didn't they, for the moment of the year, which, again,
for the Sharks game. And
I know, which is not even the game.
Okay, maybe. It was the Knights game, if it was anything.
Yeah.
And then the Coach of the Year, which was Gordon Walker, who I think is Lisa Carrington's coach. Andrew Webster, unlucky to have been an Australian, but I don't know, do you need to have been a New Zealander to win the coach? Because who contributed more to New Zealand sport from a coaching perspective last year than Andrew Webster?
Yeah, I know. But
it's a massive turnaround. Well, how do you fix the Halbergs then? How do you make it sexy? Was it ever?
It was never sexy. But, I mean, it needs to be a mixture of Halberg, Sirius, Sports Cafe, and ACC. Like, it needs to be sprinkled with some funny shit like... like bloopers of the year, like the best social post, best faux pas, and get the media involved because the media vote on this, the sports media, and they're all dry balls.
Yeah.
Have something around the media. Take the shit out of the media. Take the piss out of the media. The best commentary faux pas. The best. I don't know.
Worst take.
The best hot take that went wrong.
Yeah.
And you just get a bunch of Chris Ratus and just put the headline up there and then have the result. Everything like that.
And then show him in the crowd.
Yeah, get the media and the athletes together, a bit more humour, laugh at each other, take the piss, because naturally sports people are pretty funny and they're pretty humble and they don't mind the piss taken out of them that much.
They don't mind the piss either.
No, don't mind the piss either. Media, on the other hand, probably aren't as good at taking the piss out of themselves. But
also don't mind the piss.
Exactly. So, I don't know. It just needs to encompass the whole sports, galaxy.
Sphere. Yeah.
A bit better in terms of not just be full dry balls. And it's...
Because no one's staying up to watch it, are they, really?
I didn't even know it was on.
I didn't even know it was on either. I saw the nominees when they came out, and I was like, Warriors vs Sharks? Okay, maybe.
Hey, maybe, here's an idea. Maybe we go full live on it. And we launch our own awards at the end of the year, which is basically... got more showbiz, more razzmatazz. We'll bring an audience with it, like Live.
Yes.
We'll short form it, make
live
it more interactive, live stream. Everyone's involved, and then eventually the Halbergs will have to take notice, and eventually they'll come to us and go, hey, how about we do something together? And it's a beautiful thing. Maybe we'll do that. I'm keen as to do a sports awards. I think we'd run a good one.
I think so too, because sports. I mean, I'm not a big fan of awards ceremonies for sport anyway, because in sport you are playing to win a trophy. That is the award at the end of the thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
So then you're like, oh, but did this person win a trophy better than that person did? I don't know. It's a bit iffy. Big fan of a piss up though, and so if we could,
and if there's one thing we know how to do,
and
it's put on a good piss up.
Put on a piss up. So I don't know. I feel like there's something we had thought about doing this at Hodaki. We were going to put up the rackies, and it was like an awards ceremony.
Only because we got frustrated with the radio awards because they are equally as dry.
I mean, I think most awards ceremonies are.
Well, this is our chance to re-energise it.
Yeah.
We could do the Lou Vincent Award for the dodgiest piece of sports action, and you know what? He would come and present that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of shit that we need to get going.
Yeah. The most suspicious turn of events in a sporting game.
Yeah.
Presented by Lou Vincent and sponsored by the TAB.
And then we could have a 100-metre sprint by open field of all athletes except for 100-metre sprinters, and just say who is the fastest.
Yes.
Like Rico Ioane's up there. He's going to be against Glenn Phillips. He's going to be against Israel Adesanya, and it's just a 100-metre foot race. I reckon there'd be so much you could do. I don't know.
We'll put it in the pipeline. Let's add it to the long list of things we need to do by the end of the year.
A commemorative game of badminton. Let's move on to some rugby news. Concerning news, the Wellington Rugby Football Union, or WRFU as you know it, is selling down 50%. Its 50% share in the Hurricanes. This turns my brain into a pretzel. I can never figure this out. But basically, they lost $1 million last year.
Yep.
The Wellington Rugby Football Union, in a year that Wellington won the the NPC, mind you.
Yeah.
They're forecasting another 6-figure loss this year, and it made me think, well, what was all that Silver Lake shit about then? If all of the unions are still doing their ass every year, what happened with the Silver Lake money? Do we still have the NFTs? Could we sell the NFTs? Are they worth anything anymore?
I'm not sure those NFTs, they were female rugby player NFTs, by the way. So, they got snapped up, didn't they?
Did they?
No. I don't know. There must be some issues around there. I mean, you look at if you win the NPC.
What do you get?
And do you get $1 million?
I don't think so. I wouldn't have thought so. I don't understand why the Silver Lake deal was such a big deal when rugby teams all around the Australasia seem to be just doing their ass year after year. So what? I don't know.
I'm not totally over how the financials work at a
Oh, God,
at a
no.
rugby club. I mean, I don't know how much funding you get locally, government, from NZRU, from Silver Lake, whatever. To comment on it, I would just be completely and utterly miseducated.
Here's something I do know about, is that they are the toughest team to watch in Super Rugby because their stand is bright yellow and there's 4 people in it. That has to be affecting the bottom dollar.
Yeah.
Do we, the ACC, need to pick up that 50% share in the Hurricanes?
Yes, and then use our investment to go and spray paint the seats different colours.
Yes.
Like in Brisbane, where they have different colours, so you don't get shocked with the yellow.
Yeah, even Forsyth Bar Stadium has a little bit of that.
Yeah, just a little bit of something.
And that's the problem with the cake tin design, is that Forsyth Bar, you just sell all the seats on one side, the opposite side from where the broadcast crew is.
Yes.
Sell all of those first, and then it doesn't matter how many people are there. Like, they park buses down one end of that thing. You can't do that at the cake tin. I think it might be time to give up on the cake tin as a venue for the Hurricanes.
Good luck. I mean, look, they've got the stadium discussion going on in Auckland at the moment. Imagine if they were built a new one in Wellington.
I'm just saying, send it out to one of the regional clubs that they've got there. You know, even playing Taranaki, they've got a Yarra Stadium, or has that been torn down? But you can't keep sending people there to that massive ghost town. And if we decided that, we'd say we buy a 50% share in the Hurricanes, and we're like, we're not playing at the cake tin anymore, and there's a massive outcry. It's like, okay, well then buy tickets.
Turn up.
If you're that worried about it, why don't you come and watch the game? I don't know. Hopefully a bit of free-to-air might turn that around a little bit.
Hopefully. Hey, speaking of, there's obviously pre-season games going on at the moment.
Yes.
The ACC, we've got our own pre-season.
Oh, my God.
So our pre-season... No, we're doing a commentary on Friday night. Friday afternoon, Chiefs versus Blues from Oniwa Domain. Myself, James McConey and Tony Lyle are calling that game.
Is that this Friday?
This Friday. I think it's at 4:30 in the afternoon, or maybe 3:30 in the afternoon. We're calling that on NZR Plus, though.
Oh, okay.
So it's not on Sky, it's on NZR Plus. And in their words, a license to go crazy. So it's going to be Chiefs mana everywhere, all over Oniwa Domain. The Blues are going to hate it.
In my experience, when people have come on board with the ACC and said,
Go crazy?
Go crazy, we love what you guys do, it has never worked out for us.
I know. At the end, they go, not that far. Well, give us some boundaries.
Everybody wants it until they get it, and then they're like, oh my God. It's
So yeah, Friday afternoon, look out for our socials, because we'll put a link up of how you can watch that, because it's free. On NZR Plus.
Oh, beauty.
So anyone can tune in. So that's our pre-season. So we'll be a bit rusty.
Yeah.
And I'll probably be in a wheelchair.
Well, this is what I thought you were going to talk about. Just quickly before we get into that. So NZR Plus going to be playing more Super Rugby games throughout the season? Is that the plan?
No, I think, I don't know, eventually probably. I can't really comment, but I think they're looking for some live content on there. They've actually done all the previous games. I think they did the Highlanders Hurricanes
pre-season
game as well.
Highlanders thumped them.
Yeah, and this is one that they want to try something new.
Yep.
So they've knocked on our door, and we're going to give it to them.
Yep.
So tune in. Could be the first and could be the last time.
Both barrels. Our off season starts, or our pre-season starts this very afternoon. At time of recording, it's 10:30. The first ball is going to be bowled in about half an hour of day 3.
Yep.
And then at about the lunchtime break, you and I, Jeremy Wells, Blake Ashford, and Paul Moati from the TAB are going to be competing in a Bronco. Now, shocking developments this morning. In the haste to get your 3 children out the door, as well as yourself and your long-suffering partner, you've forgotten your running gear.
I've got my white Birkenstocks on.
The test Birks?
Yeah, the test match Birks. I've got they could pass as they're togs. And a t-shirt. I've got togs on and a t-shirt. So I'm going to have to fully Zola Bud this one in bare feet, unless I run it in my Birks, which would be quite funny, but quite damaging for my feet.
Well, it'll be damaging for my mental health if you beat me in Birkenstocks.
So, look, the TAB have laid down the challenge, the Bronco challenge to us.
Yeah.
And you're quite nervous.
I don't know why.
It's 1.2 kilometres. I said
it's also very low stakes.
Very low stakes.
Although the stakes are, I don't want to lose to Paul Moati.
Yeah, the stakes are being humiliated and vomiting over the line and having to call an ambulance and get defibrillated on the Vic Park. That's worst case.
Well, and I've been talking a lot of shit about people doing their Achilles lately. So I feel like I might have angered the Greek god Achilles himself.
Because also with the that's with the turning in the Bronco, that's the hardest thing, because you go 20 metres, 40 metres, 60 metres, and then go back to the goal line, and then you do that 5 times. So there's a lot of turning.
I'm going to be taking a wide berth.
A lot of acceleration, a lot of stopping and accelerating.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of Tokyo drifting around the corners for those ones.
We'll let you know. Tune into the commentary today at about when we come back from lunch at 1:45.
Yeah.
There'll be a couple of people whose heart rates will still be running, but tune in for that. It should be good though. I'm kind of looking forward to it, kind of not.
Yeah, okay. I'm actually, my palms are sweating just talking about it. Genuinely, they are very, very sweaty. Time for one more break. When we come back, it's time for a Yours Please.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
This one came in response to our big Super Bowl review that came out on Tuesday. Call it Yours Please.
Yeah, lads, Mac from West Auckland here. Just listening to your big Super Bowl review. Heard about 4 minutes worth of Taylor Swift chat. Put your fucking heads in. Cheers.
Look, I'll take that on the chin. Feedback, good and bad, but that is a good piece of feedback, and I will go away and I'll have a long, hard look at myself, Manaia, and so will you.
Yeah.
And we'll never do that again.
We told ourselves, we told you listening, that we wouldn't do it, and so we won't do it. What we will talk about, though, is that the Kansas City Chiefs parade is going on today.
Still going on?
It's only just started now. Patrick Mahomes went and did the Disneyland tour. Have you seen that? That's part of it.
And I did see that, and him and his wife were mixing vodka into some drinks on the top of the bus. I love that. It's like, potentially one of the richest sportsmen in the world, and you're deroing some vodka into a soft drink bottle.
And Americans don't get all up in arms about it like we do.
Yeah.
Player by the name of Willie Gay was running up and down the street shirtless with a bottle of Hennessy in his hands. He was holding his shoes as well, running around in bare feet.
I love that shit. But I do love the fact that you can do that once if you win a title. Because you remember when New Zealand won the 2011 Rugby World Cup, Zach Guilford was smoking a big fat cigar and still drinking piss down Queen Street, and it was totally fine. Little did we know that he had serious alcohol issues. That wasn't a good look. And then, we knew that most of them hadn't slept and been on the piss, but it was totally fine.
Yeah.
But every other time, if you don't win, then people go apeshit.
That's a good point. So what's the difference? Well, because you did win, that behaviour's okay, but if you didn't win, you can't console yourself by doing the same thing? I don't know. But yeah, in very American fashion, Travis Kelce's absolutely shit-faced. He's walking around just hugging anyone that he walks in. You can tell he doesn't recognise any of these people, but I saw about 3 clips of him going up to someone and be like, hey, bro. Yeah. Same thing every time. It's like, he doesn't recognise any of you guys. Do you reckon that this is definitely, you know what? I'm not even going to bring it up.
Don't, because we'll get some more Yours Pleases.
I've caught myself and I'll stop there. And in typical American fashion, shots have been fired and at least 10 people have been injured.
Great. Because, I was always jealous when you'd see victory in the middle, like a Middle Eastern country would win win at something, or someone would have an AK out in the celebrations going shooting into the air. So, I'm glad that's happening.
I don't think that's exactly what was going on there, but...
okay, sorry.
More to come. Completely unrelated news. The Export Ultra pre-game at the Empire is coming up very soon. God, we're busy at the moment. Join us on Friday the 23rd of February.
That's next Friday.
Yeah. From 4 p.m. at the Empire Tavern for the official ACC Ultra pre-game event. 2-for-1 export deals, export merchandise up for grabs, live music, and free buses to the games. To the game for the first 100 punters in the door. Text Ultra to 3236 for all the details for that one. I'm looking forward to that one.
Everyone gets a Dulux Steady the Ship hat as well.
Oh, shit.
Anyone come along. Just come along and preload with us. Pre-game. And hit Eden Park. That's going to be a big one. That's the second game of that series, so it's going to be a big one for either team.
Yeah.
On that, and it's going to be a good old party. So the Empire, if you know where the Empire is, it's opposite TVNZ.
Yeah, it's sort of near the Sky Tower.
Yeah, Nelson Street, corner of, is it Nelson and Victoria Street?
Yep.
Get in there. Yeah, 2-for-1s on the beers. You can get there earlier if you want. We'll be there from 3.
Yep.
So get in there. And also, we're doing a pre-game. It's not on here, but if you are listening and you're in Wellington, the Saturday of the Test match in Wellington, we're going to be at Shed 22 from 9 a.m. It's going to be the only venue open on Saturday at that hour.
Is that right?
Yeah. And we've got these specials on. Plus, we've got the shark bus, taking people to the ground.
Hell yeah. The Kelly Tarleton's shark bus.
Yeah, it's now the Life Direct shark bus, but originally the Kelly Tarleton shark bus. So that's going to be doing loops from Shed 22 up Cambridge Terrace and dropping people at the basin from 10 a.m. But head on down there. Paul Stewart Ford, New Zealand's premier sports journalist and ACC commentator, will be there. So yeah, that's just a heads up for you Wellington folk.
Yep, we are touring the country with these Export Ultra pre-games. Just quickly before we get into a half-baked sports idea, because we've got to do it yesterday, a quick mop-up of some of the headlines of the day. My hometown's made the news. This always makes me so excited when my hometown makes the news. Yeah. You know, it's a sleepy little South Canterbury town, you know, not a lot really goes on there. So when something happens and it makes the news, we all get very excited, you know, when Kaylee Bell wins International Country Music Artist.
Yeah, Manaia Stewart's on the ACC.
Doesn't really get people going, but this has popped up today. There's been a new panel beater start-up in town.
Oh, okay. Is that the news?
Yeah, that's the news. New panel beater start-up in town.
How did that go national?
It's got a viral marketing campaign.
Oh, okay, what
and
is it?
That is, his logo is a swastika, and he has put it up, or she, I don't know, on top of the new panel beater, which used to be a fish and chip shop, by the way, which used to be a petrol station. So petrol station converted into a fish and chip shop. It is now a Nazi panel beaters, although he was approached for comment by the Herald and said, it's actually got nothing to do with the ideology. I just knew that this was it was a very recognisable symbol. I don't know where I stand on that. I feel like he knew exactly what he was doing with that.
Oh, that's so. You know what? That's going to end up in one of the papers, the free newspapers in the Tube in London. You know, when I was living in London, I was always, go Kiwi. When you look at the shorts, on the back of the Metro, was it called? The free newspaper on the Tube. And on the back, they had the shorts like round the world. And New Zealand always featured on it because, you know, someone had named their kids Benson and Hedges or something like that. And I'd be like, go Kiwi. It was never anything that good. It was just something quite sad. Yep. And this is just going to fit that mould.
Yep. I'd like to distance myself from that story as much as I could, please. And just finally, before we knock this thing on the head, although some of you might think we should have done that a few minutes ago, it's time for another
half-baked sports idea.
Okay. Simon Smith sent this one in.
Oh, good. I'm loving the feedback. I'm loving people suggesting half-baked sports ideas because your ones are very, you're on repeat.
So shout out to Simon Smith, who sent this one through on Instagram. Half-baked sports idea for T20s. No limit to the number of overs a bowler can bowl. Batters can bat all the way through, so why can't bowlers? Means that a bowler on a blinder can keep going and a bad one can shut up shop. Tips the odds back in favour of the bowling side.
Not bad.
You don't mind it?
I don't mind it, but, like obviously 10 is the limit. You bowl 10 overs.
Yeah.
I suppose then you could stack your team with batters, though, and then it swings back into the batting side. Because, say, if you manage, if you say, look, he said, if they're on a heater, they can keep on going.
Yeah.
I'd say some teams would go, right, Trent Bolt's on a heater before this game. Let's pick him and who's our other best bowler?
Well, we'd just go Bolt and Southey, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I know, and let them bowl 10 each and then bat to 9. So that's the only downside of that idea.
So it actually ends up helping the batting side again, doesn't it?
So that would be my only feedback on that half-baked sports idea. Unless you had to... But you can't start dictating a minimum amount of bowlers in a team. That's the only other thing as well.
No, but I guess in a roundabout way, they kind of are at the moment with the over limit.
Yeah.
To where you have to have a certain amount of bowlers because you can't just Bolt and Southey dudes to death.
Yeah.
I think that was a quite interesting one. But yeah, like you say, it's actually not helping the bowling side all that much at all.
It could flip back. Because if you bat down to 9, you could have Glenn Phillips coming in at 9, for example.
Also, what if your Sunrisers Hyderabad and you're paying someone, $1 million a season, and then you find out that their country are playing the bowling 10 overs in every T20? You'd be like, hang on.
Yeah, but you bowled, I suppose, 10 on the trot for a pace bowler is a little bit, but they do it in test matches.
Or vice versa, we find out that Lockie Ferguson and Kyle Jamieson have been run through over in the IPL.
Oh, I mean, this is when a player like Andrew Simons would come in handy because remember he used to bowl medium pace and off spin.
Yeah.
So he used to bowl in his one days. He'd come in and bowl 4 pace bowl and then switch to spin and bowl another 6.
Yeah.
RIP.
Yeah.
But that's the ultimate bowler you want. You want someone who can tweak and bowl a bit of pace.
On a related note, why hasn't cricket boiled down to 11 all-rounders or 10 all-rounders and a wicket-keeper? Is it because the amount of time you have to spend in the nets to get as good as someone like Kane Williamson is prohibitive from you getting good at bowling as well?
I reckon it's a completely different skill and also athletic type. To be a bowler is very different to be a batsman. Like you look at Tim Southee, and Trent Boult and the like, and Cole Jameson. They're athletes. They're sprinting in 40 meters 6 times. Over and over again.
Tall whippet.
You've got to come through the crease. It's a different, and batsmen, someone like Kane Williamson, for example. I mean, he was an all-rounder. He could bowl a bit of tweak, but he had issues with that arm in terms of it was bent. But so I think they've all got potential. I suppose they just specialise. Because when you grow up, you all pretty much bat and bowl at some stage. But I think it's different. It's a different
physique
and a different skill set.
That's a good point, because you think about all-rounders and they're all sort of like quite powerful. Colin de Grandhomme, Jacques Kallis,
Corey Anderson,
Jacob Oram.
Yeah.
Big, burly sort of dudes. Yeah, okay, you're right. So you need some sort of... But I mean, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Chris Cairns, it's it's a type.
You're essentially asking someone to be a basketball player and a rugby player, at that point, if they're going to be an all-rounder. Okay, well, that answers that one as well. Thank you very much, Simon Smith. We've actually got a couple more half-baked sports ideas. We will drip feed those out across the weeks. And we will knock this on the head because the first ball of day 3 is about to come through right now. And we'll see you tomorrow for a Friday edition of the Agenda podcast.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast. For more episodes, subscribe on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.